Yup. Want to talk about Diablo and the state of it? Yeah, I don't post Diablo, but I do play Diablo in my free time. It's probably the game that consumes my most free time, actually. Uh, I say I'm pretty well versed with Diablo 4, not previous Diablos. This is my first Diablo. I did play last season, which well, we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and what I think the game could do better. What I think the game could do better. And I'll go with the bad first because that's what everybody wants to hear. Um, what's the worst part about Diablo? I think the worst part about Diablo is probably is probably the gameplay loop. It's too short. The gameplay loop is too short. There's not enough time between anything. Anything. This game is basically dungeon, legion. You just repeat that over and over and over again. That's Diablo, but you could do got Helltide. Helltide was good. That's probably the best thing about this season. I forgot about the Helltide. I didn't forget about it, but I forgot to associate it with Diablo. That's probably the best thing about season 4. And we're talking about the goods though. Hold on. Let me stay with the bads. The bad another thing with the bad is dungeons are boring. That's another thing, dungeons are boring. The identity of dungeons are fucking terrible, to put it frank. The identity between dungeon and dungeon is beyond fucking garbage. This game has the worst dungeon layout, creativity, art. And I'm not talking about the art, the design of the blood, the walls, the floor. I'm talking about the diversity between all these dungeons feel the same. You know, you walk into a dungeon, you know what to do. You know what to do. You just sprint, collect the orb, or collect the rock. Put the rock on a put the rock on the pedestal, defeat the boss, repeat. There's like, why can't we get more I don't know, something. There's things in this game where it's like, why can't I just be walking through the dungeon, right? Just walk in, minding my business, clearing it out, and then boom, I fall through the floor. And then you're in a room where you get ambushed with enemies. And they're very strong enemies. Then, you know, you defeat the wave of enemies, you get some good loot, you just take an elevator back up. Ooh, that was pretty fun. And then, you know, it's something like that. You just randomly just playing the game, you fall through the floor, and you fight some waves of enemies. There's nothing like that. You know, the Butcher was a good addition, but the thing that makes the Butcher so good in this game is that he barely shows, that he barely appears. That's why the Butcher is so good, is that he barely appears. So when you do see the Butcher, you're like, oh shit, the Butcher, which I've only seen him once. And guess what? When I see him again, I'm be happy because, you know, something new for once. There's no creativity in terms of new. I will say that another weak part about Diablo is this game, what do you call it? This game classes are pretty weak in terms of creativity. In terms of creativity. Necromancer, I played Necromancer. I think I've played Necromancer, Warrior, and a little bit of Druid. I played them all, but that's the ones I really dive deep into. They're not so much to the point where it's like, oh, you're playing Druid, I'm playing Necromancer, tell me how it is. You know, you're playing Druid, you know how the fuck it is. It's nothing different. Druid, there's not enough class variety. You know, Archer, Necromancer, I play Necromancer, probably my favorite class, is because she is the most unique. She's easily the most unique class out of all the classes. Every other class just feels the same. You know, I played Archer, probably the weakest in terms of fun factor. Druid is pretty boring. He's no different than Warrior. He just transforms into a wolf and does the same thing the Warrior does. They just claw. It's not like there's the what's it called? The scale of this game. You don't lose things. You know, you don't lose damage, but you get faster attack speed, which would be amazing. You don't gain attack speed, but lose damage. This game just gives you both. Or just have attack speed and damage. Because like PoE, one of my favorite games is I like to what was I playing? Archer in PoE. I think I was like a class, like just like a zippy around, you know. But in this game, when you play Archer, you don't really have to move. You don't really have to move if you're a good one, or if you just like do a build guide, or you know, just pick the strong shit. You don't have to move in this game. That's another thing about this game that I think is a weak point, is you hit the wall of why am I playing this way too soon. Way too soon. That's the weakest part of Diablo. You hit the wall of, oh, why am I playing Diablo? Pretty fast. Probably like probably, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours in, to be honest. And you only, like, if you've never played Diablo 4, your first experience playing Diablo 4 is going to be fucking amazing. And you're going to be like, oh, this game is fun. I don't see what people are talking about. It's a blast when you've never played Diablo. After you play Diablo and you maxed out your character, you will see why the fuck would I ever play another character. Because it doesn't change enough to the point where you want to put that another 40 to 50 hours in. I don't like, you just wait for a new season. Helltide is good, but I hope this expansion in October, the new class coming out, I don't know what it is, but I really hope it's so much different from every class and it's not just a spam special and move forward. I do like Diablo though. It's like, I know people are like, you're just hating, but I like Diablo so much that the things they do annoy me, if that makes sense. It annoys me, you know. If I didn't like Diablo, I wouldn't play it. I'm level 60, and my previous character was 40. Last season wasn't that intriguing, but I will get into the positives. Now I'll get into the positives. The best thing about Diablo, or no, let me not say that. The best thing about Diablo this season was the ability to really craft your character in your image. It was very good. It was very good. I think I'm done with this season is what I'm saying. It was, and what I'm using was. I'm pretty much done with this season. I don't think I'll continue to play it until a bigger update comes. But the ability to really upgrade or customize your character is pretty good this season, especially with Helltide. Last season, it felt like they were like restricting fun. They were really trying to restrict things to the point like the loot wasn't that interesting to read. The Paragon, I don't really care about the Paragon board, but mainly the loot. The loot last season was not interesting to read. You just put whatever was better because you didn't really care to, because the game didn't tell you to. But this season was amazing when it came to loot. You actually just read the loot. Like, I caught myself reading shit like, oh shit, what's this do? Like, even in this season when loot was worse, not worse, but let's say something had less damage, but it had a better passive, you would read it because, oh shit, oh, I can just sacrifice 100 damage, but now I get, I don't know, now I use Blood Orb and shit. Now I use, Blood Orb, and now I get Corpse Burst, which I sacrifice. I've actually done it in this game. I have a weapon that does less damage to just use Blood Orb, and then when I float around, Corpse Explode, which is amazing. I don't know why I'm panicking. I mean, I'm not panicking, I'm just waiting. Last season didn't do that. Last season it was terrible in terms of almost everything. What's another thing? The best thing about Diablo, I don't think anybody disagrees with this. The best thing about Diablo as a whole, the brand, is the art style. It's art style. PoE 2 looks like, I can't wait for PoE 2 because PoE 2, from the videos I've seen, looks 100% better than Diablo. PoE 2 looks like they have the developer, the budget of Blizzard, and actually used it. It looks so much better than this. I've played it on PC too. This is on my console, but I played on PC too. It's not really that much of a difference from 4K to this. It's alright. But even PoE, the art style in PoE is so amazing. What I think the game could improve on is enemy variety. That fucking sucks. This game has the worst enemy variety. I'm not talking about move sets. I'm just talking about costumes. Like, a lot of people, like PoE is another game. It's pretty good. PoE doesn't have enemies movesets that insane, but they have costumes. When you're playing these type of games, you don't really care about the moveset because you're just moving and butchering everything. So you can just reskin a lot of your enemies and get away with it. You know, I think we'd rather have. I mean, me personally, I would love to have like 50 different type of enemies with similar movesets than have, you know, than have 25 enemies with different movesets, but they all look the same. It gets pretty boring, you know. After you slay 100 demons, you know, the factor of, oh, this shit looks cool leaves. I don't really see that anymore. You know, when you play the game, you don't see it. When you take a step back, you see it. I don't really see the art style anymore. That factor has left because Blizzard's fault. Another thing, it's probably the stupidest one. Not stupid, but most reasonable one. I don't get why Diablo has. I know I don't. I'm not complaining that Diablo has a battle pass. I think that was inedible. The problem with the battle pass in Diablo is like, what do players who, even when you spend $70 on this game, you put 50 hours in, this game doesn't give you fucking shit cool wise. You can't throw me anything. The only way to get cool cosmetic shit in this game is a battle pass, which is pretty stupid. I don't expect them to hand it out for free, but after 50 hours, I should get something cool. After 50 hours, I should get a fucking full set of godlike armor, design-wise, cosmetics. I should be looking like fucking. I should be floating around in all white after I put 50 hours into this game. I earned it. I earned it. You're not. That's the thing. Like I said, if you play Diablo for the first time, you're gonna have a good time. But after 50 hours of this game, after you play your build and you max your build out, Diablo does not reward you to stay. And that's because they already have your $70. We got your $70, goodbye. You fell into the trap, which I did. I bought the game. This is not on Game Pass, which I'm glad it is on Game Pass. Is the video about to end? I'm glad the video is on Game Pass because I wouldn't have bought Diablo. No, I wouldn't have. If I could take it back, I would. The high was good, but it left pretty soon. I wouldn't have bought Diablo. I wouldn't recommend buying Diablo. If you want to play Diablo, play it on Game Pass. This is a perfect Game Pass game. And that's another thing. Diablo would be way better as a free to fucking play game than a $70 full price. They know what they're doing. Like, they're literally robbing. Diablo robbing. I would never recommend someone buy Diablo. It should only be played on Game Pass. It's not worth $70. It would be worth $70 if they, you know, $70 and then you get cool shit. You know, $70, you play 50 hours, now we reward you with shit from the battle pass. That would make sense, you know? I put 50 hours into this game. I put $70 into this game. Can I get something cool? Something cool? But the game doesn't do that, you know. You just play Diablo. Like, I would say they're much using their loyal fan base to their advantage. It's one of them things like, I'm done with this season and I won't be back, which doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like I just said, I'm done with this season and I won't be back, but it doesn't matter because guess what? I've already bought the game and I've already put the 50 hours in. So, you know, they don't need me here. They don't need anybody, real low key. I mean, you can buy the battle pass. I don't know why you would buy the battle pass in this game. I'm not spending a dime in this game. I honestly think that's robbery. But let me stop. Let me take that back. I will buy story/class expansions because them are actually things that you can't just give away for free. Them actually take work, a whole new skill tree, a whole new paths. They actually take work, and like I don't know, story, new maps. That's shit I would buy. But as far as just straight cosmetics, that's just straight stealing because you're not giving people who put $70 in anything after 50 hours. I'm not saying buy the game, get everything free. I'm saying I buy the game, 50 hours, give me something. Like, I'm entitled to it. At that point, I deserve it. But, you know, I don't think they'll do that, which sucks. because truth is, a lot of people in Diablo has a big fan base. Diablo is like probably the biggest. I don't know what you would call this game. I don't want to call it MMO RPG. I don't know what you call this game, but you know what these type of games are. Diablo probably has the biggest fan base out of PoE, Last Epoch, and I think that's all. Maybe I'm missing one. I know PoE, Last Epoch, and this. PoE has the biggest fan base by far. The problem with that is that they're very passionate about their game. You know, they're very loyal to the game. Diablo players, and that's probably the problem. They're too fucking loyal to a game that don't deserve them. I truly believe that. Diablo fans, like, I hope when PoE 2 drops, Diablo fans find somewhere new to go, because this, and then maybe Diablo will see that, like, we're just holding back for no reason, because PoE 2 is a free game. It's a free game that does things better than Diablo in a $70 game. Last Epoch was $40. I think it was $40 or $44, but I know it wasn't near 70. Last Epoch, in my opinion, does everything better than Diablo. Yeah, everything. No. Yeah, Last Epoch does everything better than Diablo. The Last Epoch has a lot of problems. You can't skip story. I don't know. I think Last Epoch might just be a story game. It is a story game, actually. Last Epoch does everything better than Diablo. Problem with Last Epoch is it's not like an upgradable. It's not like an expansion game like Diablo. You know, there's no reason to come back to Last Epoch. I haven't booted that up forever. I think I got my 50 hours in that too. Enjoyed it. Had no problem with it. Like, I wish Last Epoch and Diablo switch places, to be honest. I wish Last Epoch had the budget of Diablo, had the mindset to, like, let's expand the game, because Last Epoch was so good on everything they did. Same thing with PoE. I don't play PoE no more. I will come back to PoE 2. My biggest problem with PoE is that the gameplay loop was way too long in PoE. I mean, you would spend an hour clearing out dungeons before you saw the boss. You just like, that's the only thing I had wrong with it. And I hope PoE 2, like, they mentioned new enemies, new bosses, new interactive maps, which is really all I wanted from PoE. It was like, more bosses, they have unique enemies, more bosses, less just running through, mowing through enemies. It's very hard to explain. But it's like Diablo, you hit the wall too soon. In Last Epoch, it's not like you're hitting the wall too soon, but you see it coming and you're just waiting for it. You see the wall there. Now you're just waiting for it to smack you. So, you know, they both had their flaws. Last Epoch is not, PoE is not a perfect game. But final take is let me get a nice spot for the video. Oh, whoa. Here we go. Final take is what would I rate Diablo out of 1 through 10 as I wouldn't say new player to Diablo 4. I would rate Diablo this season at least an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I'll give it 8 out of 10. If it's your first time playing Diablo, you're going to have a 10 out of 10 experience. I will say that. If you've never played Diablo, your first time is going to be 10 out of 10. That's how they get you. It's fucking amazing. That's probably why I still play this game, because the first time I played Diablo, it was fucking amazing. Now that I'm fucking 2 seasons in, 3 classes done, I can really see the bullshit. You can really see the bullshit after you get done. After you play this game for a while, you start to see the bullshit. I still give it 8 though. This season, the Helltide carried it. The Helltide carried this season. I don't know. The season's obviously not over, so they might update it. They might come out with a little change. But right of now, 8 out of 10. Helltide is beautiful. Helltide is amazing. They're not holding back freedom of loot. They're not holding freedom of anything. You know, you want to do something, you can do it in this season. There's nothing stopping you. The Tree of Whispers is pretty amazing. You know, you get clear out 2 dungeons. You get what's it called? I don't know what they're called, but you get a shit ton of loot, shit ton of XP, and you just keep doing that for the first. So it's an 8. It's an 8. But the problem is like, oh, if it's an 8, then why is that bad? I think the Diablo community knows that Diablo might be an 8 out of 10 game, but they have potential to be a 10 out of 10 game, and they're on purpose not making it a 10 out of 10 game. I truly believe Diablo has potential to be a 10 out of 10 game, but it's like on purpose trying to be in 6 or 7 or 8 out of 10 game. So you keep coming back because it has them 10 out of 10 qualities and moments. But that wrap it up. Peace. I'll see you next video, and goodbye.